afternoon. I'm Keith Silva. Thank you for joining us across the fence. It's November, if you can believe it. And being the first Thursday of the month means it's time to find out what Chef Marco has cooking in the kitchen. This month we celebrate, among other things, National French Toast Day on the 28th, National Pickle Day on the 14th, and of course, Thanksgiving, which has Marco thinking about leftovers. Take it away, Chef Marco.
Thank you, Keith. Hi, I'm Marco Ayala, and I'm here to share another recipe with all of you. And Keith is correct. The year is almost over. It's hard to believe it's already November. I really like the idea of devoting a whole day to be with family, be with friends, and remember how thankful we are for the things we have. I personally am very thankful for being part of the UVM Extension family. I'm also very thankful for having the opportunity to come to your living room every month. And I'm especially thankful for having my little assistant, Nico. All of you know him already. However, this year I am especially thankful for having had the opportunity to add another family member, and this is Nabi. She is a pug that we were able to rescue through Green Mountain Pug Rescue, which is a great organization here in Vermont. However, now it's time for cooking. So I'm gonna let these two guys head on to do whatever it is that they do. Now let's talk about recipes. As you all know, I am not about to reinvent the wheel. I think that we all have a way that we make our turkey, whether it's because it's a family recipe that has come down from generation to generation. I always like adding something new to the table every year. And that's how I decided to make something that could be used as an appetizer or to substitute those mashed potatoes that go great with the turkey. But wait until you see these Hasselback potatoes. And they're really pretty, they're very easy to make, they look very gourmet, but trust me, you know me, I don't do things that are way too complicated. It's a recipe that is delicious, and your guests, family, and friends are gonna be impressed because it's also very easy to make. So let me tell you how to put it together. First, you're gonna take 1.5 pounds unpeeled round yellow potatoes. Using a sharp knife, you're gonna make 6 to 8 cuts from the top of each potato within 1/4 inch of the bottom. Be careful not to cut all the way through. The easiest way to do this is to place 2 bamboo skewers on each side of the potato and use them as a guard. And that's what makes these potatoes feel so fancy, because when you see them, they almost look like a little fan. All the ingredients get in there, so the whole potato absorbs the flavors that you're infusing. This recipe originated in the 1940s in a restaurant called the Hasselbacken in Stockholm, Sweden, and now it's making it all the way into your living rooms here in Vermont. Then, in a small pan, you're gonna add 1/4 cup olive oil and 2 tablespoons dried rosemary leaves. You're gonna heat the oil on medium-high heat until the oil is fragrant and the rosemary leaves are slightly toasted. Then, on a prepared baking sheet, you're gonna place the potatoes cut side up, and you're gonna drizzle them with the oil. And make sure to get into all those little crevices. Then you're gonna sprinkle them with salt and pepper. Heat your oven to 425 degrees, and you're gonna bake your potatoes uncovered for 35 to 40 minutes, or until the potatoes are browned and tender. And I told you this would be easy, because the potatoes are already infused with the oil and the rosemary, and of course they have salt and pepper, but you will think, Marco, this needs a little extra. So here is our little secret ingredient. Pour the oil back into the saucepan and drizzle the potatoes again with it. Then you're gonna sprinkle the potatoes with 1/2 cup freshly grated Parmesan cheese. And you're gonna return them to the oven for 5 to 10 minutes longer. And when they come out, they're nicely browned, crispy on the outside, and soft on the inside. So let's start our little plate here. And we're gonna place a couple little potatoes here. They look like a little fan there, which makes them look like really, really fancy. And now that we have our first recipe, it's time to talk about our main dish. Something that we all have at the end of Thanksgiving is a lot of leftover turkey. So what I want to show you is something to do with that leftover turkey to give it a new life and make a new recipe for your family that they're probably going to really enjoy, and it's probably going to go back, go into your regular recipe rotation. And I'm sure you've all had a Monte Cristo sandwich at a restaurant, and that is one of my favorite meals. And look how nicely brown and toasted those sandwiches are. They're super easy to put together, but the fact that they're easy doesn't take away any of the flavor. So let me tell you how to put them together. First, in a large bowl, you're gonna add 2 whisked large eggs, 1/4 cup milk, and half a teaspoon kosher salt. And you're gonna mix it until it's all well combined. Then you're gonna take 4 slices sandwich bread, and you're gonna spread a thin layer of mustard on each side of each slice of bread. And something that is crucial for this recipe to work is good bread. For this recipe to really come out great, you do want a bread that has more substance to it. So in this case, I chose to use some sourdough bread because, as you can see, it's relatively thick. It has sort of like substance to it. It doesn't fall apart that easily. And because of the way that we're going to be cooking it, that's what you really want. Then, to one of the bread slices, you're gonna add a generous slice of ham, some of your leftover turkey, and Swiss cheese. And make sure to add at least 2 slices of cheese because all the ingredients together is what really makes this sandwich. Then you're gonna take a non-stick skillet and you're gonna place it over medium-low heat. You're gonna add 2 tablespoons butter and you're gonna warm it until it's melted. And then you're gonna take your sandwich and you're gonna dip it into the egg mixture on both sides. Place it on the skillet and hear it sizzle. And cook them until they're golden brown. Continue to cook until your sandwiches are golden brown and nicely toasted. And I know that that looks like it's a lot of butter, and it's because it is. If you don't want to use that much butter, just use non-stick cooking spray and cook your sandwiches. Before serving, you're gonna sprinkle them a little bit with powdered sugar. Monte Cristo sandwiches are usually served with strawberry or raspberry jam. In this case, I'm using some cranberry from our turkey dinner. It's a great way to give your turkey leftovers a new life and making them into a whole different recipe. I think that in itself is a recipe that you can make with your leftover turkey from Thanksgiving, or it's worth going to the store and getting some turkey from the deli any time of the year. And now it's time for dessert. And there's so many great desserts out there. So let's try something new to bring to the table. So that's how I came up with the idea to make these cranberry strawberry hand pies. And they're so easy to make, very few ingredients. And again, it's something that it falls right down with the theme of Thanksgiving with the cranberry. And it's also a creative way to use some of your leftovers if you have some leftover cranberry sauce. So let me tell you how to put this together. First, you're gonna take about 5 to 6 strawberries and you're gonna cut them into small pieces until you have about 1 heaping cup. Transfer them to a bowl and you're gonna add half a cup leftover cranberry sauce, half a teaspoon cornstarch, 1/4 teaspoon cinnamon, and 1/4 teaspoon ginger. Then you're gonna take 2 sheets puff pastry and you're gonna cut them into 4 pieces each. To each square, you're gonna add about 1 to 1.5 tablespoons cranberry mixture. Then, in a bowl, you're gonna add 1 egg and you're gonna beat it well. Then, using a brush, you're gonna brush all around each square of the puff pastry. Once you have brushed all of the squares, you're gonna close them into a triangle. Then you're gonna transfer your hand pies to a prepared baking sheet. Finally, you're gonna brush the top of your hand pies with a beaten egg, and you're gonna sprinkle them with sugar. Then you're gonna bake them at 400 degrees for about 12 to 15 minutes until they're nicely browned. And that is it. When they come out looking great. Look at this. It's really nice. And you can see that the pastry itself is nice and flaky, which is what you really want. I can't wait to try it. And I really hope that you give this recipe and all of these recipes a try. So let me bring all of our recipes here together so you can see them. And of course, I'm also going to remind you to connect with Across the Fence on social media. So follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and most importantly, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get all the latest updates of Across the Fence on your phone or your computer. And then you can not only see the recipe show, but all the great content that Across the Fence brings to your home every day of the week. So on that note, as I said, I am very thankful for all of you. I'm very thankful for all this great food. So now I need to decide what I'm going to try. So since I've already been eyeing this little hand pie, I'm going to get a bite of it and I'm going to tell you, happy Thanksgiving, enjoy your food, enjoy the time with your family, and happy cooking.
Thank you, Marco. You are always a treat. If you missed any part of today's show or you'd like recipes for Thanksgiving leftovers, visit our website, uvm.edu/extension/atfence. My thanks to everyone here at CX who made me look and sound so good, and thank you for stopping by Across the Fence. See you soon.